She said no, as a TikTok prank at the altar. I took the officiant's mic, declared the wedding a singles mixer, and left her crying outside while the guests enjoyed her $10,000 cake. I 32 am, and I'm still processing what happened. My life has been pretty straightforward. I'm an engineer, logical, detailed-oriented. I thought I had applied that same logic to my relationship with my ex-fiancé. Spoiler alert, I messed up big time. Fiancé was the opposite of me. Everything was about high-volume energy, attention, and, most importantly, social media validation. She was obsessed with her TikTok presence and her prank channel. Our wedding, the $200,000 monster she insisted on, was less about getting married and more about creating epic content. For months, I raised concerns. She'd already pulled little stunts, pretending the venue double-booked, faking a meltdown over a minor decoration detail, all for her Fiancé Pranks series. Each time, I warned her clearly, the wedding day is off-limits. No content, no pranks. This is sacred. She'd just brush it off with that influencer-perfect smile. Relax, babe. It's what pays for the open bar. We need the views. Her parents, FIL and MIL, were the fuel to her entitlement fire. They thought she was a superstar. When I expressed my discomfort to them, FIL, a hotshot lawyer, practically laughed in my face. It's harmless, She's smart. She's building a brand. You should be grateful. Their entitlement was seriously next level. 2 weeks before the wedding, they blindsided me with a predatory post-nup they drafted, attempting to allocate her 70% of my future income and all the gifts. I shredded it and told them, in no uncertain terms, that I wouldn't sign anything that treated me like an ATM. That should have been the final, screaming red flag, but I was too deep in the sunken cost fallacy. The wedding day arrived, and it felt more like a movie set than a marriage ceremony. I was trying to focus on my vase, but fiancé was live streaming from the bridal suite, complaining loudly about her $10,000 custom cake being aesthetically disappointing for the reveal. My best man, BM, who had seen this train wreck coming for months, gave me one last, concerned look as we were getting mic'd up. Man, seriously. If your gut is churning, listen to it. I just shook my head and told him I had to see it through. The venue was gorgeous, a high-end, oceanfront spot, packed with over 300 guests. The music swelled, and fiancé made her entrance. She looked incredible, but I noticed that weird, almost hungry look in her eyes, the look she gets when she's about to chase clicks. We reached the crucial moment. The officiant, a longtime family friend, asked the question, do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold, from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, until death do you part? Fiancé paused. Not a dramatic, emotional pause, but a calculated, content-driven pause, staring right into the camera her bridesmaid was holding front and center. She flashed her biggest, brightest smile and shouted, loud enough for the mic to catch every syllable, no. A wave of confusion washed over the crowd. A few people chuckled nervously, assuming it was a microphone issue or a joke gone awry. The officiant, bless him, gave a small, polite cough and started to repeat the question. But fiancé wasn't done playing to her audience. She took a step back, held her hands up to the camera like a celebrity accepting an award, and yelled, it's a prank, guys. I said no. Gotcha. Hashtag best prank ever. Hashtag bridezilla for content. Hashtag got him. The nervous chuckles died instantly. The silence was heavy, thick with embarrassment and disbelief. I stood there, utterly calm. The months of resentment, the ignored warnings, the blatant disrespect for our relationship, it all clicked into place. She had chosen her viewership over me. Full stop. She didn't even look at me. She was still preening for the camera. That calm was my decision. This wasn't a choice. It was a consequence. I reached out, smoothly taking the officiant's microphone. The officiant, a man who knows a moment when he sees one, gave me a small, silent nod of support. My voice, measured and totally steady over the massive sound system, cut through the tension. Everyone, thank you for being here today. I looked around at the guests, then directly at fiancé, whose attention was finally, unhappily, on me. As you have just witnessed, the bride has publicly and explicitly confirmed her refusal to enter into these marriage vows. I accept her decision. Fiancé's smile completely vanished. Wait, what are you doing? It was a joke. Put the mic down. I ignored her, talking only to the guests. However, we have paid for a spectacular venue, a 6-hour open bar, a live band ready to play, and a very expensive white velvet wedding cake, which, I assure you, tastes far better than its boring appearance might suggest. I tighten my grip on the mic. Since the wedding is off, I am now officially rebranding this event. Consider this a high-end, all-inclusive singles mixer, hosted by me. All the food, all the top-shelf liquor, and every last crumb of that $10,000 cake is on me.
Please stay, eat, drink,
mingle, enjoy the party. I put the mic back on the stand. The wedding is finished. The party is just starting. The shock lasted maybe 5 seconds. Then, a few scattered claps grew into a massive, booming cheer. The band, brilliant professionals, immediately launched into a loud, infectious dance track. My BM was already halfway to the bar, raising his glass to me. Fiancée was beside herself. You cannot do this. This is my content. This is my reception. She tried to grab the microphone, but the officiant put his hand on the stand. The ceremony is concluded, miss. The venue has control of the equipment now. Then the entitlement brigade arrived. FIL and Emile stomped forward, faces absolutely purple. FIL started, using his big lawyer voice. You will cease this disrespectful charade immediately. This entire event was structured for my daughter's benefit. You are causing her profound emotional distress. We demand you restart the ceremony. I looked right at him, the man who tried to legally fleece me. Sir, your daughter, on camera, rejected the vows. Legally, no marriage occurred. The contract is broken. All funds I've paid are now solely for the enjoyment of my guests at the social gathering I am hosting. Since you are paying for nothing, you have no authority here. And that $10,000 cake? I paid the final installment this morning, so it's mine, and I'm serving it now. I signaled a server. Start cutting the cake. Massive slices. The look on their faces, it was pure, unadulterated shock. The guests, realizing they were now at the best, most dramatic party of the year, started hitting the open bar and grabbing huge slices of cake. Fiancé started pulling on the tablecloths, trying to rip down decorations. You're paying for this. I'm filming all of this. You're a jerk. I pulled out my phone and started recording her. You're right, I'm filming too, fiancé. Vandalism of rented property is a serious offense, and the venue cameras are running. My lawyer will be in touch about the damages you're causing. Now, since you're so focused on your content, let me give you the final shot. I grabbed the mic again, unplugged it from the stand, and looked at the furious huddle of fiancée and her parents. The wedding is canceled. I am now hosting a party for everyone but the three of you. The cake is being devoured. The bar is flowing. You are officially unwelcome on the premises. I suggest you take your complaints and your camera and leave quietly. The longer you stand here screaming, the more evidence you create for my legal team. Venue security, who had been watching the whole scene, especially the part where fiancé started destroying property, moved in fast and escorted them out. I watched her, in her wedding dress, sobbing uncontrollably into her phone while live-streaming her removal, her parents screaming at the security guards as they were forced off the property. I turned back to the party. The atmosphere was electric. People were dancing, laughing, and enjoying the most dramatic free food and drink they'd ever had. It was the best non-wedding I could have asked for, a celebration of dodging a massive bullet. The legal part was quick and satisfying, exactly as my lawyer predicted. FIL tried to sue me for emotional distress and the planning costs, arguing I broke the contract by not continuing the ceremony after the joke. My lawyer shut that down with 3 points. 1. Fiancé's clear. Mic'd refusal was a fundamental breach of the intent to marry. 2. The video of her vandalism allowed me to file a counterclaim for damages. And 3. The whole thing was a premeditated public act of humiliation. The judge, clearly annoyed by the whole influencer stunt, agreed with my lawyer. I wasn't held liable for anything, and fiancé was actually ordered to pay for the property damage she caused. File's entitlement backfired spectacularly. The $10,000 cake was the perfect, sweet revenge. It represented their total arrogance, their certainty that they could treat me and our most important day like a punchline, and that I would just take it. But I didn't. I ate the cake, and the guests ate the cake. I turned their expected victory lap into a celebration of my freedom. I'm single and happy. I'm actually dating one of the guests from the mixer, a woman who thought the entire spectacle was the perfect mic drop moment. This whole mess taught me that respect is non-negotiable, and when someone shows you who they are, especially at the altar, believe them. Consequences should be served as cold as an ice sculpture and as sweet as a $10,000 cake. If you liked this wild ride, you should hit follow. You never know where the next impromptu singles mixer might pop up.